since we introduced the role, right? And then we needed to talk about, and then what skill, what knowledge you need to play that role, to be a effective manager, to be ready for promotion. You will feel, what exactly you are talking about, right? When you talk about the managerial knowledge, when you talk about the managerial skill, let's put it this way. We need a different managerial knowledge, managerial skill. As a first-line manager, you might need some basic managerial skill. Planning, controlling, right? Related to organizing, right? Related to leading. I use the 4 functions to introduce that. This is general, right? And then there are many specific managerial skills. We needed the managerial knowledge combined with the managerial skill together. To give you the example, I am the training manager. I needed to have very specific managerial knowledge regarding training, tutoring, coaching, mentoring. This can be the presentation. If related to presentation skill, this can be related to the trainer, right? I have a lot to share with you. This can be the knowledge plus skills. If you are the accounting manager, you need accounting knowledge. I'm not good at that. I think I have introduced the Bloom's taxonomy, low cognitive level, high cognitive level, and then we measure your mastery, specific managerial knowledge and their skill. We only talk about the general one. Later on, you will see all general. This applies to all managers, not the specific management position. If you are a finance manager, you need to understand how to play the money, right? Investment, ROI, trading. So this is knowledge and their skills. I don't want to read the definition, information you have in mind. And then the skill is the ability to perform those activities. I have a very interesting example for you guys. Remember, I mentioned about the driving, right? You get the learner's permit. That means you have the knowledge. You don't know how to drive, but you get the permit. And then you started to learn how to drive. So this is learning the skill, right? But does that mean you are a good driver? You have the skill, but you don't have the car yet. How can you tell you are the good driver? The same, the manager. You think thinking about the manager position is the car. Before you get in the car, you cannot say you are a good driver. The same. If you don't have that managerial position, you cannot call yourself, I am a good manager. The contradiction is you have the knowledge, and then you can develop a skill. You can only learn from others. You can only observe, and then you think, you learn, and then I were the manager, what I should do, right? This is the learning process. Once you get the car, you drive the car, right? You can say, hey, I have the managerial skill, right? I have the driving skill, but it doesn't mean you are good enough. You need to practice. Let me link this all together. The first one, the knowledge, the degree you get, the skill. And then the third one, experience, E, right? You become a real good manager. So I created the KSEM theory, right? Machine theory. There will be always problem when you are managing. You will make a mistake. You will learn from that. But just be careful. When we talk about the decision making, problem solving, you need to know how to solve or how to make a decision optimized in an optimized way. Somehow you have the skill. That means you have the knowledge. Many first-line managers, they never learn. They never stayed in the classroom to learn those management concepts. So they draw this conclusion. They summarize this from their experience. Somehow, experience, let me tell you, experience can help us get some basic managerial skill. Experience cannot equip us for middle managerial roles. Very, very, very difficult to be a top manager. Regarding the managerial skill, so the first is the technical skill. What is technical skill? First line manager, they have a lot of technical skill. They know how to do. They train their employee, they train their team, right? Get the job done. The second level is the human skill. Human skill, interpersonal. Remember, we talk about interpersonal, we talk about the informational skill. we talk about the decision-making role. Human skill is the one most important skill, the managerial skill, the middle manager needs. Technical skill can quickly make you a first-line manager. But if you want to promote to be a middle manager, you need the human skill. Once we talk about the conceptual skill, this is the ability to think in the abstract. What does that mean? Big picture. They're good at the summarize. They're good at simplifying. They're good at finding the opportunity. You know, if you have talked with a lot of top managers, you know what does that mean? What means the conceptual skills, all right? But somehow, let me tell you what I have learned in China. This conceptual skill, you know, going to another extreme, it becomes the big talk. In summary, as this diagram showed you, the top manager need this. This is the conceptual skill. It doesn't mean top manager, he or she, doesn't have any, you know, technical skill or human skill. As a very experienced middle manager, let me tell you, I would say the human skill is very important because I want to be promoted. So I try to develop those conceptual skills as well. I don't say I don't have any conceptual skill, all right? But just not enough. If I want to be the head of the training department, actually later on they call this they don't call this the training department. They call it house of training. So you needed a much higher level of conceptual skill. First line manager, don't worry. If you don't want to be the middle manager or the top manager, only needed a technical skill, and then you will be a good first line manager. If your team not doing the job, you do the job. Always, I would say, it is not good if you are a first line manager, but you don't want to be promoted. You will stuck there forever. We needed to develop skill. We needed to enact the skill. We needed to practice the skill. And then that means you already have the general managerial knowledge. And then you can also think about those knowledge related to the skill as the technical, right? As the human skill, interpersonal skill. I mean, somehow we call it soft skill as well, conceptual skill. In the textbook, they use these terms to describe those different level of knowledge. Let me just quickly go through this with you. Declarative knowledge, procedure knowledge, process knowledge. Let me give you the example. All right. So declarative knowledge means the concept, the terms. Let's talk about the leadership, or what is the communication, what is the motivation, right? Those terms. And then the procedure knowledge means what steps, okay, to get the job done, how to get the job done. Those are the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Process knowledge, we call it process map. Map is different from the steps, right? Procedure means 1 or 2 or 3, this can be the bullet point. Map is, I can connect all those points. I can connect all those steps. When I connect them in the right way, in a good way, the job can be done. It is so-called how to make it work, or how it works. You know, it's easy to get the creative knowledge. You just read, study, and then procedure. You can grab, you don't learn this from this textbook, but you learn from your job. Why? SOP. Do you know what is SOP? Standard operation procedure, something like that. Standard or standardized operation procedure. The SOP only tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You need to enact, right? You need to visualize this. I started to do that. I accumulated experience, and then this become a map in your mind. From your mind to the reality, you started to practice, right? This become the knowledge, become the skill. I know somehow like trying to, dig that deeper regarding those theory. This I call this is a little bit theoretical, right? And then let's give you some quick example regarding this. So when we talk about the conceptual skill, the human skill, the technical skill, so mainly those are on the high level of those knowledge. I use this example, PERT, P-E-R-T, PERT. This is one of the project management tool. All right. Probably you have heard about the Gantt chart, Gantt, G-A-N-T-T, NTT. PERT is similar, but the Gantt chart is more like those bars, right? Remember that? The PERT is more like put all the procedures together, make it as the process. So it's a good example, but unfortunately, you cannot use PERT to have human skill and the conceptual skill. If you really have conceptual skill, you need to think in the abstract. You don't have time. You don't have time to put on the paper and then, oh, wait, give me 2 days. And then let me draw the diagram. And then I started to show my conceptual skill. Your board member want you to give a quick talk, a quick presentation, accumulate knowledge, accumulate skill, and then accumulate experience. And then once it's necessary, you show. It's about the accumulation. In summary, the first is the management. We talk about the management role, right? Managerial roles, and then we talk about managerial skills, important, but for you to be a middle manager. This is an argument from my 20 years of management experience I want to share with you. Sometimes people say, hey, which is important, degree or experience? Both are important. Why? You have the degree. It doesn't mean you have the car, you have the management position, but it is possible, right? It give you extra chance, extra opportunity. If you are internally promoted, if you perform, if you work hard, you work well, you become a first-line manager. Experience, somehow at this stage, experience is more important. But somehow, if you want to be further promoted, not only the experience, you also need the degree, you also need the knowledge, you need the education. That's why I returned back to school. I had my master's degree, right? So, and then I returned back to my company again. All right, command both. When experience is important, you accumulate experience. You will go through this, procedure, education. This education, actually, it is not only the diploma, right? The degree. We needed you really learn something. You really equip yourself, develop the skill with the knowledge you learn. And then you show your ability, you show your competence. And then later on, you realize you need a post. You become a middle manager. You need further learning. I don't call education, but it can be further learning. It can be further experience. And then you need, develop more about the conceptual skill to be the top manager. I think about the 10 to 20% of you guys will be the top manager. But I have one thing, I can ask you now. Once you become a top manager, you will realize your managers, middle manager or first line manager, they are not good at those management skill, or they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the skill. Send them back to me, all right? I can train them. This is more about the education. And then you give them the chance to practice, give them more projects, okay? So we will talk about project management in module, I think in module 4 or 5, I forget, the planning. But anyway, both are important, but it depends on different stages, okay? All right, guys, have a good one. I will see you later.